Vissel says, how do I improve academic writing English, Luke? Would books help? Well, books always help, right? And I don't know if by that question you mean books about how to write academic English, or you mean reading books in general. But you can read a lot and still not be a good writer. But there is an exercise you can do to improve your writing using books. So it would be as simple as you take a paragraph from a book you're reading. You think it's well constructed, it's clear, you like how it sounds. Maybe you like the syntax. Then you try a couple of different things. First, you write using the same basic grammar of the paragraph, the same basic sentence structures. You write something similar. Totally different meaning, that's fine. Maybe you write about something completely different. The content is different, but you follow the same structure and you try to use the same style of sentences. A good writer will have great syntax. And syntax means the variety of different sentences that you use and how you use them, right? So maybe you can learn about syntax, you can learn about structure, and you can learn the correct construction of the grammar of sentences in that way. Another exercise you can do is to take that same paragraph and do a variation. Try to write the same meaning in your own way. Completely different structure, completely different flow, but keep the meaning the same. So variations and then using or modeling your sentences based on the original paragraph are two great things you can do to work on your English using pretty much any book, as long as it's complicated enough, right? If it's Bob went to the market, maybe not. So that's one thing. The other part of that was, I think, can just reading in general help me? In the background, yes. As I said, you can read a lot and still not be a great writer. You are absorbing structures and sentences when you read, but it really is happening in the background, and it's not a great way to improve in the short term. I always recommend reading. Reading is a great thing to do. It can make you more aware of the language. You'll actually pick up quite a lot of things if you become a good reader. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will become a good writer, right? So maybe not the best way for the short term. Now, what about writing? What about writing books about writing? So for that one, there is a book. It's called The Elements of Style by Strunk and White. Let me just pull up a picture of it so you can see what it looks like. And I recommend it to everybody. I've probably read the book more than 10 times. I don't know how many times I've read it, probably a lot. It's a great book. My father is a writer, and he forced me to read this book when I was a teenager, and I'm glad that I did. William Strunk Jr. and E.B. White, The Elements of Style. This book will teach you how to write clearly and concisely. Even native English speakers, many native English speakers, write very poorly because they don't know how to be clear and concise with their writing, and it's too bad. Read this book a few times, and you'll start to get a sense for how to put your thoughts into writing clearly, with clarity. So those are two things that you can start with. Academic writing, really the only difference between that and, let's say, regular writing, prose or emails. Academic writing has a lot of jargon often that's specific to the topic that it's about. And also in academic writing, the structure tends to be a bit more formal and rigid. So you have a specific structure to follow. But if you do the exercise where you take some academic papers and you study the structure, and then you try to do something along those lines following the same structure, you'll get a sense for that. And it's different for different disciplines. It's different for different kinds of, or different areas in academia. So, starting with reading a lot of academic papers would be a good beginning point. So I hope that answers your question, at least somewhat, Vissel. It's a good one. The best thing you can do at this point is just practice, practice, practice. Try your best and try to get feedback. Have a peer someone who's also working on their English who can give you feedback. Maybe you set up a feedback buddy relationship where you have an assignment every Thursday. You send them your assignment and they send you theirs, and you give each other feedback. That's a great way to also push yourself a little bit and get a lot of useful feedback to improve your writing over time. So hope that helps. And again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and check out my full courses in the links in the description. I'm going to be releasing a writing course, a full writing course, later this year. And I'm very excited for that.